Right, now, evening, guys. Right, I'll just move down that way because we've got a bit of flare there. Right, haven't we? That's a bit better. Right then. So today I've rolled a tub of pop-ups up. But what I've done is I've added the flavours that I will be using in the fish meals as well into them. But they're a fruit bait, they're a fruit smelling bait, but the attraction in them will, to us it smells like a fruit bait, but the attraction that they'll be leaking off is liver and crayfish along with shrimp. So it's a mixed bait, but it's one that I've got a lot of, I've used before and it's done well. Now I'm hoping to get out this Sunday. This Sunday's looking like it's going to be alright, so I'm hoping to get out this Sunday. Now this is what I'm going to be using. It's the cocoa cone cream, which all it is it's a sweet corn based bait, but it's got a fair bit of nut powders in there. Milk powder's got a fair bit of milk powders in there, and it's also got a fair bit of that in it. Now I did I've done really well on this before, and it's something that I've not seen many people use in baits before. It's not a cheaper thing to use, but you're not putting a full one in. You're just putting probably a quarter of it, but well, probably half a one into a couple of kilo bait. But it makes a massive difference to the bait. It makes it like, it goes to more of a creamy kind of. The eggs go nice and creamy. It's really sweet. It's full of goodness. The amount of stuff that's in it that's good is just unbelievable. So it's a great additive. So there's an additive there that anybody can use. It's just one of the nutritional drinks that the weight trainers and runners and stuff like that I use. I have it a lot when I'm not well. I'm not hungry, so it gives you a bit of food in you. So, but this is the bait that I'm going to be using. It's like I said earlier on, it's cocoa corn cream. It's near enough solely sweet corn, but it's got any kelp, along with a few other goodies. It smells really nice. It's been rolled. This one's been rolled with essential salt in there. Now it's a nicer. It's a soft bait. It's a really soft bait, and it goes to a lovely texture when it's brought down. It passes through fish really fast. So, and that's what we're here. We don't want to be overfilling them. We just want them to get enough nutritional value out of them to keep them going, but to pass through them pretty quick throughout your session, really. Now the white you can see there's coconut. It's got a hell of a lot of coconut in it, tiger nut and peanut. So we're hoping it's supposedly going to be into double figures on Sunday. Now I'm not a massive fan of, just because it's going to be a nice day. It's going to go into double figures on Sunday, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's game on carp-wise, because in my own fishing, I've always found it better to have a few days are like a day at 12 degrees, and then say a day at 11 or 10 degrees, and then a day at like 11 or 12 degrees. 3 days of similar temperatures always seem to be better than just a day at 6 degrees and 7 degrees at 6 degrees during the day, and then it goes down to 5 degrees at night, and then the same day after, and then it goes up to like 11 to 12, 13 degrees on one day. I've never found that to be really productive in any way. It's you'll probably still catch, but you'll be catching the smaller fish, the little stockies that they've just been stocked into treat, and so they're the fish that you're going to be picking up if you're going to be picking any up. And I ain't really bothered about catching. Now it's that's nothing against them that are fishing, treating at the minute, because good on them, you know what I mean, to getting out there and the fishing. But and I don't believe me, every single minute of every day I'm watching that treating page, just waiting for one fish to get caught. And once one decent fish gets caught, if it's a weight about 16-17 pound, that's my sign that game on down there, get down there. But if I'm wanting to catch a fish of that size, I'll fish Langworth, and I know for definite that I'll be catching fish at 15 to 20 pound, and multiple numbers of them, and it's well worth it to me than sat on a bank all night waiting for a £4 fish. Just not my bag, baby. Now they're the wafters that I've rolled today. Beautiful, lovely little wafters. Like I started off, you see the red there, that's from the bloodworm. Now I started off with these as they're still wet, because they're still taking that glug in. Now it's a lot more subtle now. It's a beautiful smelling bit. I love her mainline cell. It's a cell flavour, but like I said, it's got a shrimp in there, it's got liver in there, and it's got a lot of other stuff that's in there that you'd really have in a food bait. But I want the attraction from the pop up to give a lot of food signals off. It's the whole idea behind having krill in there as well is, I'm going to be using krill later on in the year, but I don't want to be wasting a good quality bait on small fish that are actually being caught at the minute from treating. Now, I know that might sound a bit stupid to some of you. You don't know what kind of fish is going to get caught. Now, that's true. But from watching what people are catching, I don't want to be using an high quality krill bait that's cost me a fair bit to roll on small doubles with the fish that are about 7 to 12 pound. If I'm going to use that krill bait, it's going to be on River Valley, and it's going to be for a decent sized fish, a possible 30, and it will come out of there at this time of year. But it's a few more weeks and I'll be on River Valley, definitely. Joel's getting back into it now as well. He's got all new stuff, he's bought all his new kit and that, so he's back onto it. Now I've done a mix of I'm really liking these. I call them cushions, because that's what they remind me of, little cushions. But I really do like them. It's a nice shape, and it's something different. It's more to do with size differences as well. You're getting differences in sizes. So you're not. I mean, I've got 16s and 14s in here, and then I've got these which are also different in their in sizes as well. You know what I mean? So I've got a mix of bait sizes that are going in, and then I'm going to be fishing one of those over the top of it. So it's kind of match the arch. I hate that term, match the arch. I mean, it's all right using that when you're fly fishing, but it's fishing a similar coloured bait to what I'm feeding. Now it's all being well, it's going to be productive, but I really would like to get to Langworth if possible. It's just where I know I'm going to catch some decent sized fish at this time here. You know what I mean? It's going to make a massive difference if I can get there over treating. I know I'm definitely going to catch a few, and I'm going to definitely be fishing this year. I'm definitely going to be fishing with more bottom baits and also more wafters. I definitely want to do more with wafters this year than what I've been doing. Now I can't get my head around now I know they're productive, and I know they do really well doing bottom baits, but I can't see a reason for using a normal feed bottom bait when I can use a pop up that's like that wafter, and it's got an element of lightness to it. Now that element of lightness means that it flies into the mouth and you get better hook holds. As far as them fish are concerned, They're just three different shapes. They're just three different shapes that are on the lake bed as far as them fish are concerned. But that one is far lighter, so it's going to end up in back of his mouth, even if it's feeding a few feet away from the actual hook bait itself. I've seen it so many times from when I've been watching them that when a fish goes down, it can be 12 inch, sometimes a foot and a half away from the hook bait. And if it's feeding heavily, especially on crumb, I've noticed it over crumb with odd oilby in there, where they have to switch from feeding, from the suction that they're doing has to be changed, because the hook baits are different in size, which I've got a kilo and a half of crumb in car that I will also be using, and that will be the main aim is to be using that crumb. So I will be using that, but it's all about that. They have to suck at different rates to get these baits in, which are different weights. So eventually they just get to a stage where they just suck at one strength, and it's stronger than if they're feeding over silt. They just seem to get closer to the bottom, and just sift the crumb in like as though the feeding fills, and you'll see it come through the gill plates. But what I found is if you can get a bait with an element of lightness there, then the minute that they lift their head just a little bit off the deck, if it can be 12 inch away from them, and if that bait has got an element of lightness to it, and you can get it so it sinks just through the weight of a little bit of rig putty, not so it's too critically balanced that when they come in it's flying all over the place, because the last thing I want to do is foul hook fish. So I always overweight it a little bit. But what I'm wanting when the fish go down and they're feeding on that bait, I'm wanting that bait to absolutely fly into the mouth, and I ain't bothered about getting in my ear anymore. That doesn't matter to me. The last few fish that I've hooked off last year, which I've only done one session through winter, and it was a day session. And the last few fish I hooked last year they weren't here, they was way back down actually in the mouths, which tells me that them pop-ups was absolutely bang on weight wise, and they were weighted perfectly. They were sucking it and it went straight into the mouth. They were hitting weight of the lead, checking the heads, and they were getting nailed back down in the mouths, which is always a great indication that your rigs are pretty much bang on. So that's what I'll be doing this session, which hopefully it will be Langworth. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm actually hoping on Langworth, not treat, and it's I'd like to get to Langworth and catch a few of them fish in there what are an alright size fish, like a tatty tail and long common and stuff like that. They come out all the time this time of year, and they're always a good weight. So we'll see how we go with that, and hopefully we'll need more bait than what I was going to do at Langworth, because that's what I'll be taking if I did Langworth that day, would be that, which is about a quarter of a kilo. So if I do Langworth, then I will be needing at least, I'd say probably a kilo, 2 kilo bait, which these pop-ups as well, is I've had a few people have asked me for them, and I ain't selling these ones. These ones are being rolled. This is more than likely a full season's worth of bait that I will be using on the hook, and believe me honestly, I will more than likely be using these over any bait I fish. If I fish with krill even, I will be fishing more than likely with one of them on one rod, and I can pretty much guarantee it will go, because it's got krill in it, it's got liver in it, it's got shrimp in it, and it's also got crayfish. So the attraction in it is unbelievable. Now earlier on, the smell of the cell smell was a little bit strong. So like I said, I actually washed them out a little bit. That might sound crazy, but I actually made an error with the mixing. I mixed the glug inside this. Now I shouldn't have done that. I should have done it inside something smaller so I could mix it more evenly, and it was a little bit bitter. So what I did is I filled this tub up with water, get it a good mix, and then poured all the pop-ups in, put lid on, get it a good swirl, poured it out, and then added more water, washed them, poured it out again, and now they're bang on. Absolutely perfect. Not too strong, but stronger than most. You're not going to get pop-ups what smell like that from any shop. They're a lot stronger than shop bought pop-ups. Now, some people don't like over-flavoured pop-ups. And I must admit, I fell into the category of watching a lot of stuff on YouTube, which I sometimes fall in. I sometimes do it all the time. I've started watching stuff on YouTube and they were saying over-flavoured baits. Like that one. Don't do as well as not flavoured baits. Flavoured baits that have got less in. Nah, I do agree with that to a point. I've probably half the amount of flavouring that I use now. More so in these. The feed baits are a lot, probably half as strong as they used to smell. But then I start questioning that why have I done that when it was the fish I've had over years have always been on it. Nah, my thought behind that is that the fish always come on the second night, which tell me pretty much that the baits may have been a little bit strong smelling, the feed baits. So I halved it, and that's when, like I said on other threads I've done, I started having fish food a day. So I found no need to do nights on treating. There's no need me sitting on treating for 48 hours when I were having 3 and 4 fish, sometimes 5 fish in a day session down there. So there was no need for me to do that. So I'm really looking forward to this season, to be perfectly honest with you. I really am, honestly. I can't wait to get back on bank. This year it's really, I am so prepared for it. I've not been this prepared in a very long time. Freezer's full of bait, and I'm ready to go. That's a 1 egg mix, that. 1 egg mix. Unbelievable. It just shows you. But it's a mix of my base mix I use, but with everything taken out that is possibly heavy, like the fish meal, as in powdered fish meal, and a few other things. But I've left things in it like kelp and the light stuff. I've left all that in it. It makes no difference to weight of it, and they sing perfectly with a size 6. With a size 6 they will actually float, but with the swivel attached to the hook link that I do the KD on, they sink really, really slow. With a little bit of putty, I will actually. I don't want them to sink at that kind of rate. I want them to kind of a little bit faster, but still. If you did that, then they would just move it a little bit. I don't want them doing this, because again you're going to get a foul look fish. So I just want them to sink nice and slowly, probably at about that rate, and then I know it's going to be sitting nice. But more important than that is when the fish sucks it in, which believe me they are doing it a hell of a lot. Is if you watch them, you will know just how many times you are being done. Is they will suck it in and they will blow it back out again. Now the first thing you're wanting from that is it to reset. And I've been watching a bit of Jim Shelley today, and he fishes with Chodrig a lot, and Inge rig Jim Shelley. Oh, how beautiful that is. Now he's using a 22-inch boom on the Inge rig. He's using a 22-inch boom. It's something I've never ever heard of in my life before. And he's also using on the D, on the D, he's using a really, really big D. Now everyone seems to be doing that now. I found no need to do it. My hook holds on the Inge rig are unbelievable, and from watching them, pick the bait up, there ain't many that gets away with hinge rig. If, depending on the size of the fish, if they're a small fish, they can get away with it because they'll suck it in and blow it out before they actually will hit the lead. But with the bigger fish, they tend to suck it in and then they'll raise up, and then by that stage it's game over because they've hit that lead. Without them hitting that lead, they're doing your whole time, and baits are in and that. So it's like you say, I'm gonna have a go at that rig that I've seen him tie today. That bit longer boom, I really like the looks of it. So I'm gonna have a go at it because I normally use a boom round about probably about 8-inch boom, maybe sometimes a 12-inch boom, but it's normally out of end trap semi-stiff here as well. I call it a supple hinge rig. Now it's treating at the minute, it could well easily be fished on the conventional, the original hinge rig with the mouth trap stiff boom. So with that, you're getting a resetting every time. It doesn't matter. You could cast blindfolded and you pretty much know that rig, the lead's coming in, and because it's a stiff boom, it's getting kicked away from your thing, and it's sitting perfect every single time, more so than an helicopter rig. So we will see how we go on with that this weekend, but it's all being well. It's going to be Sunday when I get there, and if I do get there, I'm going to have a look at that around Jim Shelley rig. But the few that I've asked for these, I ain't not selling them just to be funny. It's just I've rolled them for myself, and to be honest with you, it's got that much stuff going on it. It'd be pointless me charging a $5 for them when it probably costs not much less to make them. You know what I mean? I throw those things, got liver in them and that. So we'll see how we go. But I've got very big odds on them. I think they'll do very well. But yeah, I may have dropped a bit of a clanger getting that much bait out. I think I'll do in treating because most of them will be in line with, but if not, it'll be treating. And if I do treating, then that's perfect amount of baits for. I'll probably come back with some rate, probably half of that, because all I do is just chuck a few handfuls around each bait and fish crumb. We are after at top end, and a pop-up rig on other two rigs on hinge rig. So we'll see how we go with that. Right, then have a good one, guys. Check you later.